Fulfillment in life is reaching the full potential that God has given in your life. That's what fulfillment in life is. It's got nothing to do with all the money that you can make or all the education you can amass for yourself. No. It has to do with that which God has called you to do and to be.
Meet My Mentor is basically a meeting, if I can call it that, or a come together where a few people who I have had a chance to be a mentor to have a meeting with people who have had a chance to be a mentor to myself. So my mentors meeting my mentees. That's pretty much what Meet My Mentor is all about. When you remember the Samaritan woman in John chapter 4, verses 28 and 29, she went to her people. After her experience, her encounter with the Lord, she went to her people and told them, "Come and meet the man who told me everything about myself." That's pretty much where the whole idea came from, It's people who have had a chance to tell me all about myself, meeting up with people who I'm having a time to inspire or at least sit down and have some chats with.
How do we answer the question? Needs versus dreams. Especially when needs are seemingly becoming a hindrance to your achievement of your dreams. But before we do that, what are dreams? Let's define. Needs can be so many. Dreams can be 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't have 25 dreams. You can't. It's not possible. You don't know what you're dreaming about. Such dreams will struggle you. The Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways and must not expect anything from the Lord.
I first encountered a mentor in the real sense of a mentor at work. Yes, so we had a bank program where we were assigned to particular mentors who were supposed to mentor us. Originally, it was for 6 months. Yes, I have had my mentor, I think, for the past 6 years. So I'm probably overstretching the bank's resources. But that's how beneficial it has been. And I think because it was very rocky at the beginning, I was a terrible example of a mentee. I would skip meetings. I would never get to do my assignments. As far as I was concerned, I was too busy. I was so busy with work. I really didn't have time to create time to sit with a mentor. And most of the times, if I went to him, it was probably maybe when I was stuck or something like that. It was always a gunpoint, come and help me sort out an issue, and that's when I'll go through. But when I really got the real appreciation of what mentorship was, and I decided to intentionally make the effort to get the most out of the mentor-mentee relationship, then I discovered how broad the area of mentorship really is.
What is important for you is to look at your collective experience and understand and appreciate what life and your experience has taught you.
When I really thought about what I was doing with my life, I thought to myself, what would people remember me for? At the end of my life, what would I have done? How would I have contributed to people's lives? I was inspired by some young man I knew who basically had 6 months, of his life. But what he was able to do and achieve in those 6 months was really inspiring. He was basically able to achieve a lot more than I think, when I thought about it, than I had achieved in my life. And when I also read from one of Spencer Johnson's books, how the most important minute that you spend is the one that you invest in people. it got me thinking, how's about I spend some time investing in other people, you know? And the satisfaction that you get from spending time and investing in other people, I think is really unexplainable. It's a good feeling when you see people get better from even a very tiny bit of help that you have offered them. I think that just inspired me to say, why don't I reach out to a few more people?
Pursue your dream with passion, as if there's no tomorrow. Pursue that which God has given you. Inherently in every human being, inherently, we all know who we are. Last time I asked you a question, most of you said you didn't know. But trust me, when you go home, cover yourself in the blanket, switch off the lights. In that darkness, open your eyes and ask God where. Trust me, you will know who you are. We are so scared of confronting what God shows us to be. We are scared, most of us. We are really scared.
I'll borrow a definition about mentoring, and it says mentoring is sharing life's experiences and God's faithfulness. I have really learned from the life experiences of these particular mentors I have had. I have learned a lot from their lives and a lot about myself from the interactions I've had with them. For instance, I've learned about my strengths and my weaknesses. We usually come across that question when you are going into an interview, and at times I think we just answer. I remember once answering the exact answers I picked up from Google, you know. But those were Google answers, those were not my answers, you know. But I basically had to prepare for an interview, so I went there and discussed that. But after sitting down with my mentor, I think that's one of the assignments he gave me, to discover my strengths and my weaknesses, and that has been extremely helpful in finding out more about myself.
Your vision on earth can only be actualized only if you know your purpose. Jesus knew his purpose.
And because the kind of mentors who come through are people who either I have known from work or who I have known from the assembly, and what I have benefited from them could either be in my Christian life or in my academic or my career life, if I can call it that. I'd encourage people who show up for the meetings to come with an open mind. It's basically going to cover various areas of our lives. So when you come through, come with an open mind. Come ready to learn. Come ready to learn. Yeah, these are people who have had success in various areas of their lives, you know, and they'll probably come and share from different areas that they have appreciated. So it could be in their work life, it could be in their academic life, it could be their spiritual life. It could be any aspect of their life that they'd like to come and share from. Exercise, health, anything, you know. So when you come through, please come with an open mind and come ready to learn.
It's important. How do you define success?
Success is doing what God has called you to do. That's success. Just be in the place that God has called you. That's what success. It's got nothing to do with money or how many accolades. Just do what God has called you to do.
Everyone is welcome to come through for the meeting. We basically kind of restricted it to people who have had a chance to sit down and influence, because it's from sitting down and having a chat with people that you get to know what level of life they are at. And when you appreciate that, then it's easier for you to kind of find the help that they need in a particular area. And that's why at times it might be very difficult for us to sit down and appreciate a whole general meeting, because it also depends on what level I am at in my life at a particular time. So it's from our personal discussions that we can get to delve into some of these particular issues, and that's why we're encouraged during the meetings to ask questions, because it dependent on your level. The mentors might not know at what level we are at, but depending on the level that you're at, and depending on the level we have reached in our discussions, you know, as our personal discussions, that it will be easier for you to get an appreciation of what is being discussed in the meeting. So also, when you come and learn, bear in mind also that you might be at a different level than that of the mentor who's coming to share. So you might find it difficult to understand or to follow their line or the way they'll explain how they've dealt with particular issues. But as an individual, appreciate the fact that we are at different levels in life, and it takes moving from one point, getting to another, for you to get to understand some of these things the way they'll be shared.
The point is, Moses was not just a marginalist. Okay? When you are working, some of you are working, don't just be marginalists, doing the bare minimum. No. You won't succeed. You won't be promoted. Bosses are looking for people who do that bit extra. Lecturers are looking for people who do that bit extra. Attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. You cannot have the sense of your calling if your attitude is, oh, I'm just doing it because you know, it's the only thing that provides a meal for me. That is just bad. Are you doing it as unto the Lord? Attitude is everything. Ability is what you are capable of doing. Then you move to the next stage of motivation, which determines what you do. Attitude is how you do it.
So the whole reason behind the meeting, or what I would really like the attendees to walk away from the meetings with, is I'd like them to get help with finding their purpose. I think very few of us really know what our purpose is in life, you know. And they say the best days in a man's life is 1, the day they were born, and 2, the day when they find out why. I think that's the greatest accomplishment that I would like the attendees to have, is to help them find their purpose in life. What their purpose is, what has the Lord called them for, you know, what is it that they are on this earth for, you know.
When you pursue His purpose and you are faithful in that calling, God will open doors for you. Trust me, God will.
You first of all find your purpose, and secondly, I think it's to just help us know who exactly we are. I think we don't seem to know who we are and what it is that we are not capable of, but what it is that we are expected to be, you know. And I think I'd like us to get that kind of help from the meetings as well. Not only to know our purpose, to know who we are as children of God, but to also know what is in the Word of God. I'd like us to be drawn to the Word of God. I'd like us to realize that, you know, most of these things that are taught out there about success and significance and accomplishments and dreams, some of these things are actually borrowed from the Word of God. And I'd like us to realize and see exactly how in the Word of God we can find everything that we are looking for. And I think it will be very helpful for us when we realize what the Word of God says, to follow and pursue some of these things in life the right way. At times we tend to follow things, want accomplishments, want to do so many things for our own selfish reason. But when we realize who we are, and then realize what the Word of God says and expects from us, I think it will help us then as Christians to go about life's journey the right way. And I think that's what I'd like us to really learn and to see, to get from the meeting. I'd also like to get the questions answered. There are some questions at times that are way above my head, and at times I struggle, you know, to give answers, because I think maybe my experience in life hasn't been as many of these other people has been. So it's basically getting people's questions answered. Come through and come with other questions that you may have about life, about careers, about experience, most importantly about our Christian walk. You come and bring those questions and come and get them answered.
I want to quote finally from what she knows about. She loves John Maxwell, and this is what John Maxwell says. One of the things that I value most says, never work a day in your life. Never work a day in your life. He says, if you go to work and you work somewhere, if you go to work and every day you go to work, you struggle, you don't feel the passion, you don't feel the enjoyment, you are actually working. But if there is something in your life that you can do for free, you can do it for free, but people will still pay you for it, then you are not working. There are many things that many of us do, and we go to the office and report you are struggling. Your promotion will be very limited. But if you are doing something you are passionate about, so passionate, that you are willing to do it even if nobody pays you for it, then you are in your purpose.
So I'd like to help people to see themselves in the light, especially in the light of how God Himself sees us. You know, when we get to see things the way God has seen, the way God sees them, the way He sees us, the way He sees how much more we can do. You know, I think that would be for me, that would be a serious accomplishment in life. You know, because even when you look at people. For instance, people looked at Zacchaeus as a tax collector, but how did God see him? How did the Lord see him? The Lord saw much more in Zacchaeus than the people out there. So people saw Peter as a fisherman. The Lord saw a preacher out of Peter. You know, people saw as the one who was going about killing Christians. The Lord saw much more, you know, in that. So not to say that's how I see people, but I'd like to just help us, draw us, all of us, in a direction where we can see ourselves, try and see ourselves how God sees us, and be more for Him, you know, be more for Him. There's only one life, and it will soon be past. Only what is done for Christ will count. So what am I doing in this life? I'd like to help us just get to a point where I think we're a bit more accountable with our days. Yeah, so I think that's the accomplishments I'd like us to get out of the whole meeting.